Hi Aries, this is Lee at Fresh Astrology. We're looking at a sneak peek for 2019. So I already posted one and realized I had not made it clear that while we are focusing on what Jupiter is doing before it goes into Capricorn, which is really kind of going to dominate next year anyway, it will go into Sagittarius. And I don't mean to diminish that. It will be in a fellow fire sign and work for you, but what we're really looking toward in the year is the entry of Jupiter into Capricorn. That is what we're looking at in terms of what the astrology is pushing us toward. I want to do a sneak peek because I do believe in looking out over a longer time horizon. When I do private readings, I frequently will be looking out 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, not because people ask me to or even that I want to, but often this is just the timing of astrology. Astrology has its own clock, and we can try to fit it into our own expectations and our own parameters, but really astrology is on its own clock. We don't control it. So I find it's healthier, and it seems actually more hopeful to understand that things will unfold in their own time, but they will unfold. So all that being said, Jupiter will go into Sagittarius, and it will be in a nice alignment with you. So for, the first part of the year, you will be feeling movement in the area of your ninth house, where you will learn a lot, maybe travel a lot, maybe publish or have some kind of interest in international events or people. It can play out in different ways, and that's another point to understand about astrology, is that astrology does play out in different ways. And thank goodness for that, because we don't want to be a bunch of automatons, just marching around to the beat of the stars. We have free will, and we can decide what we want to do within the themes that are set up by the planets and stars. So there is this kind of weird clock that we seem to be a part of that has thematic stages that we go through. But as individuals, we can, and we are, and have been choosing the paths that we're going down. So an Aries who wants to go to college will go to college or get a higher degree of some sort. Possibly some Aries will have children who are taken up with that. Some Aries will find they're wanting to publish a book or blog more publicly. Some will decide they want to travel more. And some will just have kind of this, maybe a legal theme. So that will be a part of the Sagittarius piece of the puzzle, I think, because of where it's ending up and because of where Pluto and Saturn are, and the fact that these three planets converge toward the end of the year. What you're really gearing up for is the theme that happens with Capricorn in your chart, which has to do with your career. So your eyes should be on that prize or that end game. Be deciding, for example, like say, if children are going to college and you've got maybe a drama going on with that, or if you're doing lots of fun travel or maybe business travel, the idea is to understand where you're going. You're not just going on those business trips. You're not just going to take your kid to college. You're not just going to your computer to write that blog. You're heading in a certain direction that is being highlighted by the presence of Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter by the end of the year. So really, in the clock of astrology, we're really looking at the bigger chime, the bigger bell ringing when Jupiter goes over your midheaven, which is a big moment when a planet goes over your midheaven, especially the slower moving planets. In this case, it would only happen once every 12 years. Something big is occurring in your career over the course of 2019, and you want to keep your eyes on that prize, especially if you have hopes and dreams desires around what you want to be doing to change your career or to make it better for you. Some of you, maybe you need to go to law school and you become an attorney, or some of you maybe need to travel to market yourself or to meet clients. Some of you need to publish somehow, in trade magazines or online blogging, so that people get to know you. And in some cases, this can be about marketing. So you're learning as much as you can and marketing as much as you can, if that's the issue for you. And then the goal, though, is where are you going in your career? And it's good to have, because of Pluto and Saturn, we can't take our eyes off that 10th house for you. So be cognizant of the goal. So, for example, if you're shooting a bow and arrow at a target, there's a lot of stuff you have to be aware of in the way you stand, in the way you hold the bow and arrow, maybe the wind direction, how far away you are from the target. But the goal is that bullseye, and you have to be in alignment with that while you get everything else prepared. So anyway, that is the major theme you want to be thinking about, is where are you headed in your career. And really, in terms of the bow and arrow metaphor and the fact that Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, the archer, think about where you are pointing that arrow. You need to be aware of your stance and how you're holding it, and the condition of the arrow, the condition of the bow. There are a lot of things that go into it. That's the archer piece. But then the arrow is really shooting toward Capricorn in your career, and that is where the major movement is happening for you in 2019. If you want a personal reading with me, you can find me at www.freshastrology.com. If you would like to be a part of my other business endeavor, Tribe, come join us at www.tribetripsandretreats and get on our mailing list so you can find out what we're all about. But mostly the core of what we're doing at Tribe is we're creating community support and guidance for new entrepreneurs and maybe existing entrepreneurs if they want the community and support, and would-be entrepreneurs, who, especially those who are looking at recreating and reinventing themselves in midlife. But we welcome all. We have other types of people in our group, and that's okay. But our core mission, we began to help entrepreneurs who are looking at reinventing themselves. So happy the rest of 2018, and I'll talk to you soon.